was snappy, Bob. That was real snappy. Good morning, everyone. How is everybody doing this morning on this 4th of July Independence Day?
I've got just the right hat for that last song. Yeehaw, folks. We're all rounding up today. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Bob.
You always pull something out, don't you? I mean, just something. You always have some little something there for us. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Center of Unity. If you're joining us here for the first time, we want to say welcome. And if you're joining us on the interwebs, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Bob, why don't we go ahead and start this song? Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God, here to rescue me from danger, interposed his precious love. How your kindness yet pursues me, how your mercy never fails me, till the day that death shall loose me, I will sing, oh, I will sing. Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it for thy courts above. How your kindness yet pursues me, how your mercy never fails me, till the day that death shall loose me, I will sing, oh, I will sing. How your kindness yet pursues me, how your mercy never fails me, till the day that death shall loose me, I will sing, oh, I will sing. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it for thy courts above. Here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it for thy courts above. All right.
Well, happy 4th of July, everyone. I feel like we should have some fireworks just shooting out of the back of the stage or something and really get us all in the mood, but we'll probably have to wait for tonight to make that happen. So happy to see all of you here in the sanctuary and sending a special good morning to all of those who are joining us live. You know, July feels like an auspicious month to begin to move and step into the process of re-emerging and reimagining. Not only for this post-pandemic world that we're stepping into, but certainly for the Center of Unity here. And we are inviting you and asking you to be a part of this process, because this is a process that is really going to be driven by the vision and the desires of this community. We're going to start exploring that process. Rick Weaver is going to be supporting me in asking some questions and getting your feedback about how it is that we step into a new way of being as a community. There is going to be an in-person opportunity on Saturday, July 24th, so I want you to start putting this in your calendar now. It's going to be from 10 a.m. until noon, so we'll have a couple hours to gather in here. And then we're also going to be offering a similar Zoom process on Sunday, August the 1st, and that's going to be from 1 to 3. So if you can't make it in person, you can join us Zoom or vice versa. And then to try and capture that vision from our wider audience, those who may not be even active with us right now, there will also be a survey. So there's no reason to miss sharing with us what it is and how it is that you see us moving forward. And we just continue to hold that in prayer and in the light that as we go through this process, we are also able to move through this collectively as a country and as a world. And so join with me as we hold that energy of vision and that prayer-felt idea of re-emerging and reimagining on this beautiful Sunday morning in which we are here to celebrate our freedom, not only in our lives, but in our world, and to feel a sense of gratitude for all of those who have defended and guarded our precious democracy. May your loving Spirit, God, guide us in continuing to evolve our lives and our world, in awakening to our unity, to our oneness, and to our interdependence. For the wonder-filled ways in which it's all unfolding, we say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're highlighting Unity Principle 3. We have direct access to God through prayer and meditation. Our core value today is spirit-led. We find our spirit quiet and still and looking in our heart. We find the spirit that dwells within to guide us. We can find this spirit when we pray and when we meditate. Once we connect with the spirit, we can go forth and use this spirit to decide how we will choose to deal with people or situations that are in our lives. Being spirit-led shows that we are allowing love to be lived through us. When we think only loving thoughts, we learn to master forgiveness. We are spirit-led. Today's daily word is freedom. In thought, word, and action, I celebrate my freedom. There are many ways to feel free. I may work hard to become financially free. I may plan trips so I can freely explore the world. I may commit to learning for intellectual freedom or exercise my body for greater freedom of movement. Even as I do my work in the world to know freedom, I remember that I am always free at the level of spirit. No situation or circumstance has power over me. Every day and in every area of my life, I live from my divine nature, where I am wholly and completely free. Through my inner powers of understanding and faith, I recognize and embrace empowering beliefs. My spiritual gifts of strength and release keep me on course and help me free myself from habits that derail my spiritual growth. Through God within, I am grateful to be free. Galatians 5:1, for freedom Christ has set us free.
Good morning, and happy birthday, America.
Oh, beautiful for pilgrims. passion, stress, a thoroughfare of freedom beat across the wilderness. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriots' dream that seems beyond the year. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Now I would like for you to stand and sing the last verse with me on America the Beautiful, the first verse.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Well, as we celebrate the independence of this nation, I believe that true personal independence is only possible when we awaken to our interdependence. Ponder that for just a moment. You know, since the dawn of civilization, human beings have sought to understand, who am I? Why am I here? The big questions of life. And the pursuit, I believe, was to discover how we can free ourselves from pain, from disease, from poverty, and most especially from fear of the unknown. This has been the evolutionary force that continues to drive us today. We have created governments, philosophies, pursued science and educational systems, and even religions to support us in experiencing a greater sense of security and freedom, liberty, and unity. The desire was certainly the catalyst of forming this nation some 244 years ago. The Declaration of Independence begins by stating this: we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yet as we hear these words written so many years ago, the truth was that it did not include all men. Men of color were excluded from this promise of liberty. Men of different sexual orientation were not free to pursue happiness in the way that they wanted to, that served them. It would be almost 100 years later, at the end of the Civil War, when Abraham Lincoln, in his Gettysburg Address, ended with this, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. As enlightened and hopeful as that sounded in that moment, we still are aware now that our democracy excluded women from participating in it. And I will say in large part, people of color, at least in practice, if not legally, from participating in the voting process. From there was a 50-year struggle or more for women's rights to become property owners and to be able to vote. And close to 100 years after that, the civil rights movement to enforce those rights that had been granted so many years ago. And the journey, as we're all aware of, things continuing to evolve here in these United States continues. I believe that one of the central shifts that is calling for us to step into, that has to take place before we can reach that place of perfect union. Are you ready? I want you to hear this. So this is the shift. We must care about our fellow Americans as much as we care about ourselves. Can you hear that? Now, I didn't say more than we care about ourselves, because that's out of balance the other way too, but as much as we care about ourselves. Heaven on earth will manifest when we can expand that care to all of life, when we can care about people around the globe, our Mother Earth, and even the cosmic universe, and see that we are interconnected with them. If our core principle is that there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, the very first and foundational belief that we hold in this unity movement, and certainly many others hold, and that presence, that creative force is good and it is love, then we have to come to recognize that it's the very fabric that is within all of life. It's not separate. It's not separate from us, but it also means it's not separate from anything else. And if we really understand and believe that, then we have to recognize that everything that we do affects the whole. There can be no things done in secret because there is this interconnectedness. Some call this the physical and spiritual laws of giving and receiving, the principle of cause and effect. In Eastern understanding, it's known as karma. In the Bible, it's described in a way that the people of those times could hear. It's simply said, as you sow, so shall you reap. And what quantum science has shown us is there is indeed only one unified field in all of creation, even in the parts we haven't discovered yet, because we're all made of the same energy. At the very core of each animate, inanimate thing is energy. And that energy is governed by these physical and spiritual laws of cause and effect. We are bound in supreme unity, whether we know it or live from it. And since each one of us is part of the whole, if we seek to destroy or limit someone else's or some other aspect of our world's freedoms and liberty, we will always limit our own too. We talk about this idea of indivisible when we speak of our United States, but truly, we are indivisible as the world. Freedom, then, this idea of freedom, this experience of freedom, will only come in such degrees as we no longer do anything that hurts or limits someone else's or ours, because we oftentimes do things that limits our own sense of freedom. So here's what I want you to begin to recognize as you are going about your day. Our inner independence, hear this from the beginning, can only be experienced to the degree we awaken to our interdependence. I'm going to say it one more time for you. Our inner independence can only be experienced to the degree that we awaken to our interdependence. Jesus said it this way, and I thought he was a pretty wise guy, so maybe we should pay attention to the way he was trying to help us understand. He said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? We go, yeah, okay. But it's very challenging when we coexist with an ego. Because the ego's job, when it runs independently of the rest of our soul and spirit, is focused singularly on keeping itself safe from the outside world. That's its job. It was an important job to do in our early human evolution. But part of our continued growth is understanding that it is a beautiful system to support us in navigating the world as long as it's not in the driver's seat. Because when it is, we often come from an inner state of fear, anger, and lack. That's where the ego sort of lives. And as a result, when we're in that space, we show up as power over, we show up as judgment, and we show up as greed. And this is why I think that spiritual independence is so critical to this ideal of a perfect union. Spiritual independence is not about destroying our ego. It's about re-educating it. It's about bringing it in to the wholeness that we know that we have been created from and that we are here to live through. So my question is always, as I'm thinking about or learning about different ways, is how? How do we do that? I remember when I first came to Unity, I was most excited about 4T because it promised to tell me how. It's one thing to hear these ideals and to even agree with them and be excited by them, but then it's a whole nother challenge to figure out how do I begin to live through them and by them. How is it that we can care as much about our neighbors and our planet as much as we care about ourselves, when our internal state is often driven by our sense of separateness? And I'm going to tell you something you've heard a million times before if you've been hanging out in New Thought for any length of time. And I think one of the biggest keys to that is meditation. Because meditation is the place where we can truly have glimpses of our oneness and our unity. It is the tool that allows us to move and to set at least for a small period of time, our ego to the side and experience a sense of oneness, a sense of interconnectedness. And the good news is that meditation can be practiced in so many forms. I have so many people come to me and say, I just can't do it. My mind won't slow down if I just try and sit down and close my eyes and be quiet and get into that space of nothingness. And I understand there's a lot of days where it's tough to get to that place where you can be still enough in mind and heart to begin to experience something beyond yourself. I've had some amazing mystical experiences, but they're fleeting and they don't come regularly for me. And yet I know that that's the path for me to move beyond my sense of separateness. So if you're one of those people that go, I just can't, it's just too tough, then I'm going to suggest to you that you begin to find a new way of understanding and working with meditation. If nature is your happy place, then every day try and get out and feel and experience that sense of oneness with nature. Have a sense of awe at how nature works together. Even when it seems that it's against each other, we recognize that there is always something new emerging from even those disasters that we experience in the outer world. For some, it might show up just by being near water. For me, that's one of my happy places. I could just sit and listen to the waves come in and just let everything else go. It makes it easy for me to do that. Maybe you put a little fountain system in your backyard where you can just go and sit each morning with no other agenda other than just to be and let it experience being present in that place outside of yourself. You can try making your meditation time at meal times. We rush often through our meals, or we're in conversation with other people, and we don't even think about what we're ingesting and the interconnectedness of the food. So try just being present in a mealtime to engage all of your senses. Really taste it, smell it, hear how it sounds when it's masticating in your mouth. Be aware of the way that it looks and feels as you are ingesting that food. And as you are, contemplate the long chain of events that it's taken that piece of nourishment to get from its source into your body. Just think back from at the very seed in the earth with the rain and the sun and the farmers who cultivated it and the people who processed it and packaged it and shipped it and stocked it so that you could enjoy it in that moment. There's certainly many, many, many hands that are part of this process that we call eating. And even if you don't have easy access to water or nature on those other things, we live in a digital world. And we learned last year you can do just about anything virtually. So if nothing else, for your few minutes that you set aside to meditate, then bring up a screen that has pictures that you can experience being nature or at the water. Or bring up videos of how food is grown so that you can really connect with all of the ways in which it's taken to have that, to be part of your moment as you're having your meal. And if all else fails, one thing that I have found really helpful is guided meditations. Having somebody sort of lead you through the process that will help you experience and focus on your oneness. And there's lots of them that are free out there. My favorite app is called Insight Timer, but you may have one too. I know they're everywhere. And another effective way for us to move from living from the little I, as I call it, to the great creative I am that is a part of us and a part of all of life is to find an avenue to practice caring about others. One of the best ways we can get outside of ourselves is by going and helping someone else. Number one, it usually helps put some perspective on our own life and the things that we're upset or angry about, that we feel like we don't have enough of as we go and help others who may be struggling even more greatly than we are. But it also helps us cultivate the energy of compassion in our hearts and in our minds. I looked it up, and in 2020, there was an estimated 1.6 million nonprofit organizations in the United States. So there's plenty that would welcome your time, your energy, your love, and your compassion. And if you really want to stretch yourself, you might be saying to yourself, well, I already do that. See if you can't find an organization that stretches your center of compassion right now and volunteer for that, to shift and expand your own perspective, excuse me, with the intention of expanding your world and discovering new ways in which you might be connected with it. The series that we're going to be doing in 2 weeks, starting, called The Eye of the Storm, is focused on doing just that. It's really going to invite us all to change and shift and expand our perspective, not only on our own lives, but on the capital L of life that exists in all of our universe. It will invite us to see it right before we try and make it right. The other big how that I'm often asked is, how will I know? How will I know that I am evolving and moving and stepping into a greater and greater spiritual awakening? And I tell people, look at your life and see, are you feeling a sense of freedom or love or peace more often than you used to? That's the indicator that this work that you're doing is not just happening within, but it's also now expressing itself out into the world. You will notice it more frequently and more deeply as you go about your day-to-day life. So as we celebrate this 4th of July, I invite you to celebrate this ever-evolving progress in our country and in our world until we finally reach that place where we can truly demonstrate that we are a nation and a world of the people, by the people, and for the people. And we get to take that opportunity to begin to use this tool of meditation to bring us closer in this moment to that ongoing truth. So join with me as we take a moment now to just breathe into this time and into this space. And in that very breath, know that we are breathing in the very energy of God. We are breathing in the very energy of oneness. We share this breath with all of life. And with each breath that you are aware as it moves in and out of your body, feel a sense of relaxation flow over you. Any tightness that you may be aware of in your body, just breathe into that space And as you let that breath go, let go any tension, any stress that might be present. God is as near as the air that we breathe. It is alive and active in every part of our being, for it is the foundational essence of who we are. And as that is true for each of us, it is true for all of life. As you breathe, focusing on your heart space now, almost feeling that breath move in and out of your chest and expand. Feel a sense of connectedness welling up from the very core of your being. You can almost visualize this intricate web of connection. Almost the way that science shows how all the atoms are connected to form different materials. See that connectedness and feel it in a real, sensual way with those in this room. And from this center of unity, like a ripple, ever expanding out of a body of water. Imagine it growing, moving out beyond the walls of this building into our cities, across these United States. Around the world. And we feel that sense of gratitude, that sense of oneness with all of those who have come before to support the evolution of this democracy, of this truth of loving ourselves and loving our neighbors, and caring about each other, this country, this world, this globe, this universe, beyond and as much as ourselves. We take this awareness of interdependence out into the activities of this day, this week, and let it be that catalyst of compassion, of love, and of light into our world. And as you are ready, you can begin to bring your awareness back to this time and to this place. And when you feel grounded, open your eyes and celebrate this day of independence.
I was watching a little flick earlier this week. It's Dennis Prager. I don't know if you know who he is, but he had a fireside chat, and somebody sent a question. Well, I'm a Buddhist. How do I apply the Christian Judeo-Christian values to my life? And he said, but the Judeo-Christian values are based. They're very basic. They're applied to the Constitution, which is really kind of an extension of Jesus's teachings. And so it's not the theology, which we get confused with. It's just the value system that's made the country so great and the people so free. And so anyway, I think it's Fireside Chat number 193. It was interesting, and he's got a lot of good things to say. But Bob is very good in allowing me to come up with a new version of this song. It's a beautiful version, and I hope that you like it. It's a 4/4, and Bob is amazing, so he's going to try this with us. Nowhere else on the earth are we're going to hear this kind of version, but we're going to do it anyway. So, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside let freedom ring, 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 my native country thee, land of the noble free. My name I love the rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills. My heart with rapture fills like that above. Let freedom ring, let freedom ring, let freedom ring, let freedom ring. Let music swell the breeze and ring from all the trees sweet freedom song. Let mortals' tongues awake, let all that breathe partake. Let rocks their silent break, the sound prolonged. Let freedom ring, let freedom ring, let freedom ring, let freedom ring. Our fathers, God, to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King. Let freedom ring, let freedom ring, let freedom ring, let freedom ring. Let it ring, let it ring, let it ring.
Yay! Made it work. We were breathing earlier this morning. It's always an interesting coming together when we are all trying to work towards creating a wonderful experience for you on Sunday morning. You know, we live in an abundant universe. How many of you believe that? Truly believe that we live in an abundant universe. And our lives are blessed in all that we are called to do and to be and to experience and to express. If we allow it, it just unfolds with ease and grace. And that spiritual law of giving and receiving reminds us that as we give, so do we receive. And so this morning, however it is that you choose to share of your financial good, I just invite you to give from a place of joy, from a place of enoughness. That's one of my favorite words. There's enough. And from a place of knowing and celebrating the good that it will continue to unfold and support as a result. As we prepare to share our tithes and our offerings here at Center of Unity, feel that sense of gratitude for all of the good flowing in and through your life and in and through the life of Center of Unity. After we bless our gifts, the ushers are going to invite you to come forward row by row and actually physically participate in that energy of giving and receiving. You can place your offering in the large basket and then receive an affirmation to support you this week. And even if this is not your Sunday to share or you give electronically, we want you to experience being in that flow. You can take a card that you'll find in there expressing your commitment in giving to this community and place that in the basket, or you can simply just add your energy to it by holding your hand and seeing that blessing flow out in and through and be manifest in divine ways. And for those who might be unable to physically come forward, there is a basket at the back near the door. You can drop it off there, and there's also some affirmations to receive. And we certainly want to support those who are watching remotely in this experience of giving and receiving. So you can go to centerofunity.org/give and share your financial good there. And then if you scroll down on that screen, you'll see 6 different pictures or so, and select the one that resonates with you, and then that will have an affirmation to support you this week. So join with me as we hold these gifts and the energy of all of the good flowing through this community in our hands and in our hearts, and bless them together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am.
Amen. Good morning. What a great service, right? The whole thing. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And I'm going to tell on our minister. She mentioned to me earlier this morning that she had had a little bit of difficulty feeling and gathering thoughts for this talk. And I just submit that there was not a thing to worry about. No, no, no. It was wonderful. So we would like to welcome all of our visitors. If you're watching for the first time, we're glad you've chosen to join us, and we invite you to visit our website to fill out the Connect card that you'll find there. If you're visiting in person for the first time, or the second or the third recently, we ask you to complete a visitor card found in the back of the pew in front of you and drop it in the basket or leave it at the visitor desk. Really, we would, if you would like to stay in touch with us and hear what's going on here and get our newsletter and updates, we really would love to put you in our database, and that's pretty much the only way that you'll be able to do that. So please consider filling that card out. Our appreciation today, and I think I saw her walk out, so she's not going to hear this, but we're appreciating Barbara Luters today. Barbara has kept our social life running through the pandemic with virtual games and fun. And as we emerge into something more normal, she hosted our Friday night, our fellowship and fun on Zoom, coming up with games and other creative play, such as Halloween parties and a New Year's party and quite a few others, as I recall. She's already coordinated a gathering on a restaurant patio that has taken place. And there is a potluck coming up this month. I think it's next Sunday, in fact, right after service. Barbara's a dedicated party girl who loves to spread the joy. And so to Barbara, we love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. Transformation is about positive change and bringing out the best in yourself and your spiritual community. Join us on Sunday, July 11th at 10:30 a.m. as Reverend Linda talks about the key qualities needed for our transformation. Then, gather with your community either in person on July 24th or online on August 1st as we dive deeper together and explore the possibilities. We're pleased to announce that Court, the adult social group that gets together for a wide variety of activities, is back. Bring a dish to share and join in the fun next Sunday after church. All are welcome to join. We'll discuss future activities, play games, and enjoy a cool summer potluck. Mark your calendar for the Carter Blood Drive on Sunday, July 18th from 9 a.m. to noon. Visit the COU app or website to sign up. Let's make this drive a great success and help fill the bank so that all who are in need of blood will have it. Join Rhonda Lightfoot on Monday, July 12th at 7 p.m. for the guided meditation and discussion group. Whether you're new to meditation or been practicing a while, you'll enjoy this class. There will be an opportunity to journal, so bring something to write in and meet in the sanctuary. Feel free to bring a blanket or cushion. Join Reverend Linda every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. for the Metaphysical Bible Interpretation class, where we refocus our attention on the good that God is making available to us now. Each class is self-contained. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. For the month of July only, we're offering inscribed plaques on our Tree of Life at a 50% discount. This is our biggest discount ever. It's the perfect time to purchase a plaque for a loved one, a group, or even for yourself. The proceeds from your purchase benefit our building fund, so take advantage of this win-win opportunity and contact Mary Salerno or the church office. Want to discuss the Sunday message in more detail? Then join us online for Adult Sunday School from 12 to 12:45 p.m. Each class is self-contained and all are welcome to join. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Every Sunday, we gather on Zoom before church to say hi and catch up. Come join us from 10 to 10:25 a.m. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop off your donation at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, use the COU or Venmo app, or you can text to give. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
All right, everybody. Once again, we just want to say thank you guys for coming. It's going to be a great 4th of July today. I hope everybody's got big plans and fireworks and barbecue
This is
and all that.
my plan.
Yes. So why don't we all go ahead and stand together and let's do our peace song, shall we?
So as we go into this day celebrating our independence and our interdependence, we go knowing our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Happy 4th, everyone. Enjoy.